I want you guys to know that the same developer talking about everyone getting scammed, all this, Setro did all this. You guys will see the video, but just so you guys know, he leaked Ancient Vasta requirements. You guys will see that next video, but Ancient Vasta requirements are officially known to the public today. I'll tell you guys the requirements. Alright, so this is a very big video. I'm not gonna lie, this is a very, very important video that I think the whole community needs to see, because the community that's been blaming the developers for this game being asked, you guys can't blame them after you guys see the proof that we have received today. And once again, I want to make sure everyone hears this. Setro is the reason we aren't getting a good version of TypeSoul. We all heard that? Okay, now let's go into the proof so you guys can see everything. This is an ex-developer. He was fired, I think the day after release, 2 days after release. And he says right here, on the day of release and the day before release, Setro scammed all of the developers and had us all removed from percent from the game. He then lied to each of us, making it seem like we were never going to get our percent. He scammed the entire dev team. So, Rocky right here said, bug fixes don't get paid, lol. So why are we not doing a GC with him and talking about the percent? Because all we did were talk to him individually. Chrissy's here telling this guy to join back. Thomas adding this guy. We don't even know the percent that we're getting, though. Can you not do a GC with him? Ox and me promised 4%. Then he kept going down on mine and then completely removed ours. We have Tama here showing his Robux. This is 3 days after release. Tama has 4,000 Robux pending. 4,000 Robux pending? 3 days after release? And the game had 200k players? 200k players. And Tama, during that time, only got 4k Robux out of it? Let's keep in mind, the game probably generated, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. Just an insane amount, right? And then you guys can read this screenshot right here from Setro. I promise payment, yes. And I always said that I would pay you guys for your work, which I am. The problem is the way with percent is right now. I'd rather just pay you guys based on the stuff that you make, rather than just keeping you on 1%. Because you wouldn't have gotten much from one regardless, because there's the game's percent and the group's percent. It's better if I just pay you guys so I can actually give you good pay. Then we see Thomas pending Robux is 4,000. Banana right here shows his Robux is 2,000. 2,000 is a little fucking crazy, right? And then he said you got paid in exposure button, pings Christy, okay? This is crazy. So essentially, Setro promised percent and then said, I'll pay you out of pocket. Tama shows his pending Robux and it's 4k. Okay? Then they finally talk to Dave. Right there. So who's at blame anyway? The Dorose? Okay, the fact that the developers of this game have to call them the Dorose because they're that abusive is actually crazy. But they said, is it the Dorose or is it Setro? Dave says, I'll stay away from drama, but there's nothing I can do. But to clarify something, Dorose is not the one to blame, as everything was Setro's doing. The Dorose just goes through whatever Setro says due to him being the manager of the game. Although I can confirm that they do feel iffy on the entire thing. Damn, bruh, how we gonna get our money? If Dave can't save us, it's over. We have to fight for our percent in the depths. For our percent. Seriously, all of us got stripped like the day before. That's fucking insane. It's honestly over, bruh. That screenshot, you know, now that I think about it, maybe someone else had their percent removed and has been talking or taking it upon themselves to enact their revenge. Yeah, don't worry, you get library done, and then you AFK for 10 hours in Ring 1. Lamau, alright, I got it packed, AFK. Feel about what? Seems fire. Hey guys, we're rich, the 0% is hitting. The entire team deadass just got shafted, so asked man, I thought it was just me. I went to Setro day before the update, and he tried to spin it and blame Dave. So, Setro tried to blame Dave when Setro was the one that removed everyone's percent. Tiger says, bruh, he said he removed one of my percent and gave it to you. He said, lol. And then, since you spazzed in his DMs, lol, what, Tiger? Let's keep in mind, this is the guy that got removed from the team. And Setro went to Tiger's DMs and said that he removed one of Tiger's percents and gave it to him. So wherever this 1% that Tiger lost went, we have no idea. Okay? That screenshot is Christy talking to Setro. Says your payout percentage for experience boom 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 has been changed from 4% to 2%. The pop animations, boom, can be rolled like the VFX, because I saw some True Bontais have different pops, you know. Falling behind lately, but it can be increased again. Also, you said my percent would go up if I finish everything I plan for releases. Is that still boom? Because I low-key have not been sleeping lately. So, Christy has literally not been sleeping, doing all this work, doing all this. His percent gets lowered from 4 to 2, and then Setro says it can go up again. Also, will my percent have any chance of being increased before the game releases? If your stuff gets done, it increases over time. He finishes his stuff and asks, yes, it will go up, right? Ironic, look at this. I'm willing to settle for 1%, but if I clear out more tasks than expecting, I get back up to 2%. It is possible. Yes, this guy is completely removed off the dev team, by the way. Okay. They then say, then all of a sudden he decided to cave in and give everyone their percent, but because he made deals behind the scenes to Cause and gave him 3% for doing nothing, Cause, all that he did was the trolling games and helping out other people, which was entirely buggy on release. I wasn't able to get my 1%. This guy right here, Dusky, did Highway, the tutorial, Hell NPCs, Ancient Vasto stuff, True Shiitais, and just a lot more, right? Setro then insisted that I was never getting on percent despite showing all of my screenshots. Then on top of that, Daniel, AFK, or aka Evil Forge, we all know who Daniel is, Valanium, whatever you want to call him. He was the one that was put on lead developer spot, right? Boom. That's Daniel. Setro's personal dick muncher is what this developer calls him. Was given 3% and he barely did shit for this update, which other developers even agreed upon. That he didn't do shit, right? Setro made a deal with Cause and gave him percent for stuff in Cause's game called VV. So, Setro's giving people percent in TypeSoul for stuff inside a different game? And then Setro also made a deal with some random grunt called ZL. He's like Withdraw Wannabe. He gave that guy percent, and the guy doesn't even develop on the game. So, ZL, if you guys don't know who ZL is, he is the original owner of Dolry. He is the one that released Dolry and did all that with Dolry. And basically, ZL himself said that Dolry was an asset scam, and all that he's doing is trying to farm money. And then he's sold the game to another person. That same ZL, Setro gave percent, and he doesn't even develop on the game. Then he says, so I ended up getting scammed and not getting any percent after working on the game for 9 months. I was instead told that I would be paid in Robux, which they paid me 2 million Robux, which is 7k USD for 9 months of my time. And that is not what I was working for. I did all of that work, and Setro asked I did all the work Setro asked of me. I want to stress the fact that the Dorose wouldn't have stepped in and given us our percent. They told us it's Setro's percent, and he can do whatever he wants with it. Also, Setro doesn't develop or script on the game. He can barely value change. Whenever he posts stuff that's done, it's from other people's work. So I don't know why people keep thinking that he's a developer. Setro doesn't do shit except for tell people what to do. And to add on to it, Daniel, aka the person that was set lead developer the other day, the ex-lead developer of the game who didn't do shit and was only in the position because of Setro. To add on to it, he made TypeSoul an uncomfortable workplace, and at least for me and some others, he was super sucked up to Setro and Cause. He is also racist. Keep in mind, he's white. Daniel is Valanium, aka Evil Forge on Roblox. Let's see what this document is. Daniel, boom. Okay. Alright, interesting screenshot already. Okay. Keep in mind he's white. Boom, boom. Alright. Okay. Just being racist. Just like, okay, bro. Okay. Like, okay. Alright. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we all see who Daniel is, right? Here's the document. He also worked on RuneSlayer and TypeSoul. Then Christy DMs Cause. Did you lose your percent? Yes or no? So far, everyone did. And to be honest, man, because I know you're locked in with Set, I don't think he ever officially put me on it. Christy says, oh, I was supposed to get percent because I had a deal with him or whatever, which relates to VV, sort of. I don't want to tell it. Man, I don't give a fuck, basically, about VV. We all got cut, and it's fucking pissing me off. I was talking to Elliot, who talked to VV, and he says he will go over the calculations when it's time to pay himself. The game has people above him, so it's not like he can just say, just fuck everyone over, right? And then he says, Green put in fixes. That's cool. I don't know what Daniel did recently except matchmaking, which doesn't even fucking work. And Green is fixing it now. At the end of the day, it is Setro's percent. And he said, what? This is chaotic right here. Chaotic right here said, at the end of the day, it's Setro's percent. So Setro, the person that doesn't develop doesn't script, can barely even value change, and just tells people what to do, is holding all of this percent hostage, and he's supposed to share it upon, you know, all the other developers. He's supposed to share it upon Christy, Green, this guy right here, Tama, Daniel, Kaz, all these people. That's all of Setro's percent, and he is supposed to share it between everyone, right? And Chaotic goes here and says, at the end of the day, it's Setro's percent. So he can just hold it hostage? He doesn't do fuck all for the game. And then Misery's like, why is Nano here? He was there when it all happened. He knows all of that. We made the GC with all the scam devs. So Nano knows all of this. Yes, and he isn't saying anything. I was kind of thinking the same thing, because why is Nano in here? And he's not saying anything about this. And then basically Dusty said, because he's friends with the owners, which is why I came to you guys. You guys speak the truth regardless of the relationship towards them. Misery's like, well, yeah, we're banned. Like, obviously, you know, that's what's going to happen. The worst part is I got demoted, my credits got removed from the game, and told I can never work for this game again. Setro demoted me because I went to the owners about him scamming me, and the owners didn't care. I was basically, hey, bro, we fucking got you. I'll make the video, right? He says, thanks, man. Is that all that you wanted to show us, or is there more that you want to show the community that you want to discuss about? All that, right? And then basically he says, there might be more depending on how today goes, which involves Setro and his position at Type. So I can, however, say that currently it is believed Daniel, aka Evil Forge, aka Valenium, has been black marketing. The developer that we know has been black marketing this whole time, and Dave tried to say that it was something terrible inside the code. Basically, all the current developers are accusing Daniel doing it. That's why Daniel lost his developer role yesterday and was put back on contributor. However, there isn't any concrete evidence yet. That is why he got his 1-star rule back. At the fact of the day, he barely worked, did shit. Big changes are coming soon to the combat these criminals from boom. Or he said big changes coming soon to combat these criminals from exploiting the community. There will be more news from me guys to you guys soon, though. I don't have a following to where I can go to YouTube, so you guys are my voice to the community. And then basically boom, boom, right? So essentially, this guy was promised percent. Setro kept it hostage. He did all the shit for the game. We can go back and look at everything that he did for the game. Let's keep in mind, this guy did the highway, the tutorial, the hell NPCs, ancient Vasto stuff, true Shikai, and just a lot of more shit, right? And Setro, first of all, was only going to offer him 1% in the first place, which is a little crazy. And then Setro basically ends up saying, no, you're not getting any percent. Here's 2 million Robux. Thank you for what you did. Let's keep in mind, 9 months of work for $7,000 is a little insane. If you guys don't know how DevVets rates work, 2 million Robux is only $7,000, okay? $7,000, he did all this work for 9 months, and that's all that he got. You guys can say whatever you want, but we all know that's a terrible deal. Imagine you worked at McDonald's for 9 months straight, and all that you were paid was $7,000. We would all flip the fuck out. So I understand completely where he's coming from by that, right? And let's keep in mind, also, if we scroll up, we can see Tama's Robux. The game had 200k players, and all that Tama has in pending Robux is 4,000. $15. $15 is what he got. Daniel being racist, Daniel being the Exley dev, Daniel apparently being the black marketer that we've been trying to figure out the whole time. I mean, you guys saw the proof. I'm not going to yap about the same shit. You guys saw the proof. You guys saw all the screenshots. You guys saw that. We all saw Daniel lose his role yesterday, and he was put back on contributor, and we are all wondering why. Apparently, it's because he's been the one black marketing. He's been the one going behind everyone's back and basically telling black marketers to do all this. He's the one that hired that black marketing team that I was talking about and doing all this. Very, very interesting stuff. At the end of the day, the whole community now knows Setro's a scammer, Setro's a liar, and Setro wants this fucking game to burn. No matter what you say, him removing percent the day of release is the most scumbag move you can ever fucking make. To the developers that he hires, right? He hires these developers because he doesn't dev for this game at fucking all. He doesn't do shit for this game, right? All that he does is hire people to do the work that needs to be done. He removes the percent from everyone and gives people that don't do shit for this game the most of the percent, right? He gives Gory's old owner percent, and he doesn't even work on the game. He gives Kaz 3%, Where is that part? He gives Cause 3%, right? Because he gave him stuff in a different game. And then he gave Daniel 3% when he barely did shit for the game. And even the other developers agree that he barely did anything for the game. And the worst part, in my personal opinion, is the fact that Chaotic wants to go, at the end of the day, it's Setro's percent. You see what he's doing. You see him scamming your developers. Let's keep in mind, Chaotic and all of them are the real hierarchy of this game. They get the final say in everything. And you see Setro scamming your developers, and you say, at the end of the day, it's his percent. That percent shouldn't even fucking belong to him. Respectfully, if he's not working on the game, and all he's doing is, you work on this, you work on... Anyone can do that. Do you know? I guarantee you I can pull a random person that's watching this video, and they can tell the developers what's wrong with the game at the current moment, and then the developers would go and fix it. Setro isn't doing shit. He's not doing anything. He's not helping the game in any way. All he's doing is telling people, do this, do this. Which 9 times out of 10, it's some obvious shit. Like, oh, hell is broken. Why don't you go fix hell? Oh, do this. What the fuck? I just wanted to make this video. As I said, I'm not going to repeat myself because I know last video, when I was talking about my own personal situation, I just kept yapping about the same bullshit. You guys already saw the screenshots. You guys already saw the proof. You guys can feel free to leave your own thoughts inside the comments. But yeah, essentially, Setro's a scammer. Setro's a liar. He wants this fucking game to burn. And the Dorosei just apparently don't give a fuck. They don't care. Very interesting stuff. But, I mean, yeah, that's what it is.